Good morning, everybody. Hi, thank you for joining us today. I am honoured to be joining you virtually, of course, all the way from Berlin. I'm really looking forward to having a conversation today with a fantastic company who really recognises the importance of investing in their people, BNP Paribas. Before we get into this partnership and how it all came about, I'd first like to introduce myself. I'm Jessica Roberts. I am a transformation consultant here at Coachhub, Europe's leading digital coaching platform. It's my absolute pleasure to be here and joined by Rachel today. Rachel is an amazing lady and she's doing some fantastic work at BNP Paribas. Rachel, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah, my name's Rachel Le Maire. I'm the UK Talent Manager for the Corporate Institutional Banking part of our organisation in London. So I was in the L&D team. I've been at the bank for 10 years and have moved over looking after more of sort of the leadership talent development within our business.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It'd be great to start with what initially interested you about us at Coachhub.
Sure. I thought it was really new. It was a really innovative and engaging tool that could work really well for our leadership population. I think it's just sort of looking at different ways we can move into things more digital. So that was, something that we've been looking at in terms of including in our offering. And I think sort of about the breadth of what you offer in terms of us having a very diverse and dynamic workforce, that how sort of far your spread is in terms of the coaches that you have, all from different backgrounds, work experience, coaching experience. And yeah, I just think it was just something really interesting that I wanted to learn a little bit more about, because I thought it could align very well with what we were trying to offer our leadership talent pipeline.
Perfect. And can you tell us a little bit about the program that we're working on together?
Yeah, so I look after, it's a global program that BNP Paribas offer for their leadership talent pipeline. So the program that I look after, Leaders for Tomorrow in the UK, we have just under 400 people who are on this program. We have 3 different tiers of emerging, advanced and top. And it's not your traditional kind of talent program where there would be set modules that people would go through and there'd be specific skills and behaviours that they would have to learn in terms of the leadership skills that we're looking at and competencies. So I think what's really special about our program is that we tailor make it for everyone's own personal development plan. So where they are now, looking at that next step up into a leadership role and how we can offer them that stretch and the skills, behaviours, competencies and all of that. So it's quite a different program. So being able to sort of offer something that can work for lots of people is quite challenging when you're trying not to just do the typical, leadership skill modules. So again, that's why your product with Coachhub was something that was really appealing for this program.
I know it's also a global program as well, which really looks at sort of harnessing and unleashing the potential of the next generation of leaders within BNP Paribas. So I think that's really amazing that we can, work with you and align with you on that program. Can you give us an idea, and you've already touched on it a little bit, but an overview of the different types of roles and people that are currently taking part in this program? Because I know it's really wide and quite diverse, right?
We've gone out to our advanced and top talent. We've got 30 people who are currently going through Coachhub, and they're from a range of different roles. So we've got people who are sort of managing directors and sales teams. We've got global heads and deputy heads of different business functions, down to team managers, within events, IT and finance. So it is quite a spread of people from sort of your middle managements and junior managers right up to those who are going to be progressing into those executive committee levels within the next couple of years. So it's great that this product can tailor for all those different levels and the different career stages that people are at.
Absolutely. And it sounds like it's a lot for you to take on as well, with such a wide and varied sort of employee base within that program. So I'm really glad that we're able to support with that. It'd be great to know, why did you choose digital coaching over other L&D solutions?
Yeah. Well, as I say, it's a challenge that we don't have a tailored modular program like other companies may do. This just really gave us the flexibility to be able to offer the opportunity to the individuals so they could, tailor make their own development plan. And, it's a 1-year coaching relationship they've been offered. So it was an opportunity for them to have a kind of sustained support with a constant person. I'm one person looking after nearly 400 people, so not always being able to touch base with, any career goals that they've got, and being able to have those kind of career conversations, or if they've got challenges just within their teams that they need help on. So to have that constant 24/7 support was a real key thing. We're also really trying to encourage our employees to move to more digital platforms and the digital ways of working. Like in other organizations, there are some people who can kind of struggle with that change. And obviously what we've experienced now through going through COVID, that's really had to rapidly change in businesses. And, I think more people will be looking and seeing that actually the digital approach can work just as well. And that was another thing. And in terms, especially around the flexibility, as I said, they could tailor make it, but also the individuals can schedule their own sessions with the coaches at times that work for them. There's no pressure. They're doing 45 minutes every 2 weeks. So for them, it's not having to spend a lot of time away from the desk where they're feeling the pressure, or well, actually they just don't take the time to have time for themselves to develop themselves. If they're really caught in a rut or they are having challenges, that they can actually have some set time to say, right, I need to sit down and figure this out, and have a sounding board to talk to. So that's been really encouraging for them.
No, that's really great. And I think what you said about, people really taking that time for themselves, it's so important now more than ever, right? Particularly because most of us are working from home, and we don't have what we used to have, that sort of distinction and separation between getting up and going to work and home life. And I think, speaking to so many people over the last 6 to 9 months going through this, such an uncertain time, people have forgotten to take a bit of time for themselves and really, focus on what they need. And you probably know this already, but we're doing a lot of work with companies on resilience and how to actually lead through times of crisis, and how to actually manage from a distance. How can I actually empower my people who are not only working remotely, but working remotely through a global pandemic?
Yeah.
So I think what you said there about having that time and having that, that one person, i.e. the coach, who's a real sounding board and just somebody that they know is supporting them through this uncertain time.
Yeah. And I also think, because of everything's been happening with COVID, that a lot of people are kind of getting fatigue of the virtual experience. So, to be invited to do some virtual training, even if it's a 1-hour webinar, can be quite unappealing. Whereas at this, they know it's completely focused on them. The time that they're spending is going to be something really worthwhile in investing their time. So again, another good reason to be, embracing this new way of learning and working.
Absolutely. The virtual, the drive, to use technology now has really sort of quickened, and it's great to see that BNP Paribas are sort of at the forefront of that. And now, one thing that we absolutely, sort of show the importance of here at Coachhub is business-driven metrics and goals and outcomes. And, the fact that measuring the success of this program is equally as important as starting it. So it'd be great to know, what goals, business goals or sort of individual goals, did you want to achieve from implementing the Coachhub platform at BNP Paribas?
Yeah. So for us, we really wanted them to achieve their own personal goals and feel more fulfilled in their roles in our company, and that we could see that from where they had a particular starting point, that they were able by the end of it to feel like they've stretched themselves, that they've kind of raised their game, they've raised the bar, and that they've been able to do that whilst being on the program. They've been given the opportunity. So that's what we always talk about, is how have you stretched yourself, and that's why it's some of the key things that we look at and what we offer, that we're always doing about stretching your capabilities and always looking for the different ways that you can do that. So that was really one of the goals. It wasn't necessarily about having a high performing leader. I mean, those are all really fantastic things that we do hope come out of this, but it's about those individuals being able to have those conversations about also where their career is going, the skill sets that they have now, the industry that we work in. People can sometimes feel really siloed in terms of if they've got technical expertise, and how they can maybe transfer those skills across different businesses. So we really want those conversations to come out and for them to explore. It wasn't specifically a set thing, but that people can set their own goals, and at the end of it they feel like they have really achieved something, that they can look back and say, that's where I was, and in the last year this is all the great stuff I've done, or I've learned, or I've improved on, or I've challenged myself. That's what we really want to get out of it.
Fantastic. And we work very closely with you to support with that measurement and that goal tracking. The capabilities are all there and embedded as part of the Coachhub package, if you like. So it's a really, really important part of the whole journey, if you like. It's not just about each person undertaking the coaching and then moving on. It's very much about us working with you in a partnership to help take that talent pool and those individuals to the next level. Ultimately, if you want to be producing these high performers, these people that are confident in leading and doing this amazing work for your business, then they need to be putting themselves out there and really stretching themselves. So I'm glad that you've also recognized that as part of this journey as well. One other thing I would like you to share, the reason I want you to share this is because if any of the people watching at the moment are considering implementing a solution like Coachhub or Coachhub, they may be thinking that there's a lot of work that had to go into this. Is it complicated? Is it time consuming? Who do I need to get on board to make this a success?
Yeah.
So my question to you would be, can you just give a bit of an overview of the process that you and I or we as a partnership had to go through to get this up and running, and specifically who within BNP Paribas did you have to get on board to help make this happen?
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm quite lucky being sort of a budget owner and being able to sort of manage the budget for this program. But of course, there were conversations that were had with our L&D team to see whether or not there were other providers that we were also engaging with, and also our deputy head of HR, who I report into, to see whether or not this kind of aligned with where we were going. I had fantastic positive support, and it was a really easy process. I mean, it did take a while because it was also about finding the right timing. I had other things going on in the program, so where it was trying to find the right place to be able to launch this initiative as part of the program, and just getting a really good understanding of exactly what was involved. And we did have a number of, I'm not going to say a number, it wasn't like heaps and heaps, but we had a few conversations, and you were really detailed and in depth about what was on offer, how the whole process went in terms of onboarding, getting the individuals involved and what the experience would be like for them. You sort of got shown around the platform beforehand and how it all worked, and the metrics and the types of reports I would get. And you were fantastic at answering all the questions We had working in the sort of financial organisation and that sort of industry. You know, we have a lot of regulatory and sort of risk issues. So, you know, you guys were fantastic at answering those questions for us, you know, that we're responsible for. And you know, you guys are a really lovely bunch of people as well. It's nice to work with. People are quite easy to work with. Your customer support team, anytime I've had questions, have been really responsive, super responsive, which is great. So you know that things can move quite quickly when you need to find things out. So it's been a really enjoyable experience. You know, you've got people who look after different roles. I've also, as well as working with Jessica on that side, I also have another support person that contacts me regularly to check in, see how things are going. We have updates every month to talk through the reports. You know, if people haven't scheduled their sessions, you know, they're more than welcome to chase them up. Any issues with coaches, all that, which thankfully there haven't really been any, but also the process in terms of going through as a coachee. It's been quite interesting. I've been participating in the program as well to get the full experience. So I'm very lucky that BNP Paribas have given me the opportunity to do that. But it was amazing, actually, just how simple the process was from a coachee point of view. So when you're going through sort of the onboarding process, filling out the questionnaire, and some really interesting questions I found that I wouldn't have thought, you know, in terms of like what you would like your coach's values to be, like what do you value most in someone, whether it's integrity or trust and things like that. So that really shows you've thought about what needs to happen in the matching process, because with us, when we've done coaching, it's always been face-to-face, and we have these sort of chemistry meetings, we call them, where you might meet a coach and see how things go between you, whereas it's a bit more difficult to do that virtually. So just, yeah, some really interesting questions where you could put what kind of background, what work experience, you know, how much work experience they'd had, and other key things that you think might be a good match, and what kind of background, industry. So that was really great. And then to be offered, you know, the 3 different proposals to go through, and then you could have a chat with that person, etc. I thought was a really great and seamless and really efficient process to get everyone started on it. So, the 30 people we've got on it have had really positive feedback. I think a lot of them have been pleasantly surprised actually at how well it's going. A few people were a little bit worried about the sort of the virtual chemistry and being able to sort of build up that relationship. So yeah, it has been really positive, and you know, yeah, we're really enjoying the experience so far, and I'm, you know, sharing that with our other colleagues in other locations who I know are really interested in participating.
Great, thank you very much. And I can only reiterate what you've said about, you know, the team you have there behind you at BNP Paribas. You know, it's been a pleasure working with you so far. And, you know, all this, or the majority of this has been done through, you know, virtually, like we're doing now, through, you know, this crazy pandemic world that we're in. And I think it's testament to you and your great team there at BNP Paribas as well, that you're offering this level of support to people when they need it the most. So thank you very much for that, Rachel. I have one closing question for you. This question would be, you know, to anybody that's listening out there that may have a little bit of, I guess, hesitation, or, you know, that they're just not quite sure about whether to go for something like Coachhub. So what would you say to other companies that are out there that are considering using a technology-based digital solution, but may be concerned about actually making that initial move?
Yeah. For me, I think if you're looking in terms of the cost, I think it is really cost effective, and we're able to basically offer this type of opportunity to a much larger group of people than what we would probably afford if we're having to do, you know, one-to-one in the office. So I think of cost, if you're looking at budgets, this is a brilliant way to be able to offer coaching. Brilliant team. I also think in what you offer in terms of the diverse background of coaches. So loads of different languages, nationalities, and as I say, the breadth of experience that people come from. You know, I think that is something that is really different about your business. So if people do have a very diverse workforce, they're not worrying whether or not you might need someone. I mean, we're a French bank, but business language is English. But look, we have so many different nationalities and people who speak, you know, another language as their first language. So, you know, some people have chosen to find a coach who speaks another language. I think don't be afraid. I think some people can be sort of a bit worried about changing to doing it in a different way. Trust me, I have people in our program, as I say, who were skeptical about doing it, but have actually seen that actually it works just as well. And in terms of the flexibility, you as the sort of the L&D person, or if you're with an HR or a manager or someone, you're not having to sort of worry about all the admin and the scheduling. That is purely done through the platform. It makes it really easy for the coachee as well, for them to connect. In terms of organising those meetings, the support you get from you guys has been fantastic.
Great, thank you so much. And if anybody watching the this today has any questions about Coachhub, about digital coaching, how we do it and what we do, then I would love you to get in touch with me. My name is Jessica Roberts. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can get in touch with us at coachhub.io. It'd be great to hear from you.